Welcome to Shut Up and Let Me Take Your Picture. I'm here with Max and Daniel, and this is a podcast where we just talk about photo stuff and photo related things.
Appropriate hat to be wearing.
That is true.
Yes,
I like the Polaroid hat.
thank you. I found it at Target and I was like, I don't really wear hats, but kind of cool.
It's like
That
pretty
is
dope. Is
cool.
that corduroy? Like, is
Yeah,
that
it's corduroy.
holy shit?
It's like it's funny because I like corduroy things.
You
I think
like
I'm just old
corduroy?
in heart. I'm old at heart, man.
You say that you feel like you're old at heart. Meanwhile, you're like the guy that has like the most like fresh kicks that I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
And like
but
streetwear. Every time I see you wearing streetwear.
He's got
I think I
style.
just got tired of dressing up too much, man. Streetwear is just more cash.
That's a good point.
But yeah, guys, I have like a lot of topics. Well, I don't have as many topics as I wanted to gather, but I do have some cool things. And then this is a very interactive episode,
Oh
if
boy.
you will. So,
I'm bad at interacting. I have social anxiety.
so I guess the first thing we'll kick it off with is let the audience know what's in your camera bag. We'll show off some items physically on camera and then verbally kind of list them off as well.
Oh boy.
You don't have to say everything you have, just what you would normally use.
Everything.
I'm gonna tell you the exact model and make of my SD cards.
Can you give me
Every
the
single one
can
of
you give me
them.
the serial number on those two?
Yeah. I'll give you the serial number of all of my items.
So I can remotely
Jared,
hack
do you
the
want to go
SD card?
first, or did you have a reason why? Do you want us to go first?
Yeah, you guys go first.
So I'll go first because my bag is kind of a mess and it wasn't packed. So I have everything kind of laying out here. Um, I'm the lone Sony shooter, so I shoot the A7 III, and I'm patiently waiting the A7 V to upgrade. Uh, and I shoot pretty much only Sony Sigma lenses for Sony E mount because I think that the Sigma lenses just they come out the gate really good and sometimes better than like the first model of the Sony G Masters. And then Sony
What's
comes out with G Masters too, but like I worry about that.
what's your take? Sorry to interrupt. What's your take on the Sony 30 millimeter lens?
The Sony 30 millimeter,
Hmm.
I
Do you
haven't
remember
had
that
a
one?
chance. Hmm?
Oh, I was gonna say, did you ever use that one?
No, I never used the 30 millimeter.
So, sorry to interject. So I use that. That's the only one I've used, and then I have like an art series. You have the art series?
Yeah, I have the art series.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
Uh, but I don't have the 30 millimeter, but I have the 35 millimeter, which I recently just picked up.
nice.
And then this is going to be a bit of a um, wide B roll because I have the 85 millimeter as well for some really creamy bokeh B roll videos, but also works for photos too. Not a bad side thing. The lens that pretty much lives on my camera is a 14 to 24 millimeter for video. Really good because I don't have to, you know, worry too much about camera shake if I ever go handheld. And it captures a lot. And if I shoot 4K, I can always punch it if I need to. Um, on top of that, I also have this little light box by Aperture. It has really, really good battery life. I have a hot shoot mount for it, so then I can put it on top of the camera. And it's really good for if I'm doing like something like club photography or if I'm doing club videos, because it's just nice constant lighting and it really helps with autofocus on the Sony. Because I feel like on the A7 III, if it's dark, if it's low light, then the autofocus will sometimes not know what to do and it'll really jump around a lot. Um, and then I also have, of course, every videographer's handy dandy GorillaPod. Honestly, I probably use this more for when I travel than when I do like anything professional, just because like this is kind of weird to pull out if you are at, like a 150-person wedding. Like maybe 10% of the people will have ever seen this because they watch Casey and Neistat's YouTube vlogs, and then the other 90% of people are just going to be like, "Oh my god, what is that?"
I saw one of those
Um,
that
You
has
should
a cold
put it
shoe
on your
mount
head.
on the side, which is pretty cool. Like
That's
mhm,
cool.
that cold shoe on the side of it.
mhm.
So you can mount like to the side of that little gorilla pod, which is really cool.
Nice.
I love all like the things that you can rig onto everything,
Yeah.
especially like small rig stuff. Sponsor us because it's just like everything just fits together. And I use
Yeah.
small rig for my Ronin. And speaking of things to add onto your items, That 14 to 24 millimeter lens that I have pretty basically living on my camera, the ND filters or any of the filters have to be back mounted. So you have to put it in the back, in between the sensor and the front of the glass. So instead of putting it and screwing it on, right?
Yep.
Because it's
Mhm.
like it's a curved element, right, at the end. So you can't just like screw on a filter
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So I bought these ND filters from Haida, which are fantastic. There's 4 stops here.
Yeah,
There's
those are so cool.
yeah, from point 0.9 to 1.2 to 1.8 to 3. And this is for like a video. If you ever go video and you have to deal with like taking out your lens to put a new filter in, you're gonna understand the struggle. But like, it's so worth it. 100% worth it. I used it like basically my entire trip to the Rocky Mountains.
Nice.
And yeah, that's like the highlights of what's in my bag. And then, of course, I have all my SD cards, like little. I don't have all of them, but I have most of them in here. It's a little like fold out
A
wallet.
lot of SD cards, man.
I am really thankful that
What brand?
I should know this. SanDisk.
Nice.
Mm,
I use SanDisk. When it comes to like saving $50, I feel like just like the knowledge that I will be, using a tried and true and tested brand gives me that like right of mind.
Yeah.
I don't currently have a fantastic way of doing an on-site backup other than just bringing my iPad, which works. But if there's something that happens in between, then I do shoot on 2 SD cards, so I do have that kind of right of mind, sense of mind. Um, but yeah, I haven't had any issues so far, so knock on wood.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it for cool things in my bag.
Cool.
Something that's not in my bag because it won't fit in my bag is
No, that'll fit.
RC3.
Just
RC3.
squeeze
nice.
this.
RC.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's
This
cute.
actually does, when someone reviewed this, other than the small rig handles, like
Yeah.
these 2 handles, they come off. If you were to like fully collapse this down, this would fit in my hoodie pocket. It does actually collapse down really well for travel, but it's such a pain to do
To
that
set
because
up.
you have to rebalance everything, and it's just really big. So I basically let this live on its stand like this, and it's on display. So
Nice. I mean, I wouldn't.
yeah, yeah,
I wouldn't want to reset it up every time, so I feel you.
that's
Cool.
my what's in my bag 2023.
Yeah.
Nice.
Speaking of on-site backups, have you guys heard of Narbox?
Yeah, I
Yes,
was actually gonna mention Narbox. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like are they not industry leading?
Uh, I think
they
they
might
are
be.
as far as like on-site backup, because Narbox is the only one that I know of that like you can literally just like plug your SD card into and it automatically like backs it up onto the drive. That's the only one that I've found that like
I've come across another brand, but I feel like Narbox has like a can't you drop it? Can't you drop the Narbox? Am I overthinking that?
oh, it's like dust proof, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
waterproof,
yeah,
or
yeah.
like
So
splash proof. Yeah, like
it's a little bit
it is
more.
durable.
Yeah, it's a little bit more durable than the other one I'm thinking of. But yeah, nice.
You guys remember? You guys know the orange Lassie? You know
Yeah,
what I'm talking about? The one with like the bumper
Yeah,
yeah.
corners.
yeah,
Hmm.
I also have that, but I'm waiting. I'm saving up for an Arbox just because like I want to plug it in and not think about it, and then
yeah.
and know that
And
everything is
I
safe.
want to get it, especially for like if you ever have like a second shooter or whatever, instead of worrying about like, oh yeah, like when can you give me the photos? Just be like, all right, cool, like plug your SD card into my Narbox real quick, wait for everything
Mhm,
to back up, and then
mhm.
you're good. Like you're set. So
Part Sorry,
my-
part of the reason why I have so many SD cards is so I can give them to second shooters, and then they can run around with it, do whatever they like, and then I give them back footage, which I know kind of sucks. And being a second shooter myself, I felt this kind of suckiness of like, hey, I would love to use some of this to make a reel so that I can get more work.
yeah,
Can you please send me some of the work, some of the footage I filmed?
yeah,
Um, that being said, if they wanna, do dual slot for themselves and have their own SD card, totally
yeah,
love that. The Narbox would make it so much easier, right?
yeah.
It would just give them the
Yeah.
opportunity to have everything immediately and not have to shoot double SD cards or to shoot backup SD cards and more sense of
You
safety.
know, Narbox, if you're looking to send out some samples, you know, that'd be pretty chill. You know,
Yeah,
just
I would
3 of
love
those,
to
please.
review. I'd love to review them. Yeah.
So my camera bag. My camera is not currently in my camera bag because it has a cage on it right now. And wait,
Despite all his rage, he's still just a camera in a cage.
he's still just a camera in a cage. So it doesn't really fit in my bag right now, but naturally, I have the Nikon D750 with a 50mm 1.4 on there. This is my go-to lens, but it is, God, what is it? It's one of the mechanical lenses, or like the God, what is the series? Yeah, I don't remember which series that is. Makes me feel dumb. But what else do I have in here? I'm trying to remember.
Looks like you're pulling out of a magical bag.
It
Are you gonna pull
is.
a rabbit out?
Well, what?
Are you gonna pull a rabbit out from
Yes.
just nowhere?
Actually, and this is a rabbit. This is the handle to the cage. Camera strap. This is cool. My bag comes with like a waterproof casing on it, so that you can just like if
I
it starts
always
raining and you're
lose
walking
mine.
around. Yeah, I just keep mine in my bag 24/7. It acts as like a pad for my camera usually. So,
Nice.
let's see. Eh. This is my camera bag, by the way. It's got a lot of pockets and a lot of slots.
Nice.
SD card case. I have two. I have more SD cards now actually than I have in a while. I think I have like
Than
12
Max.
SD cards. Yeah. No, not more than Max. But I have mostly SanDisk too. And I was looking for that. There's a thumb drive in here that it was just like, oh, I was looking for that. Extra batteries, always necessary. Especially for me because I leave my camera on all the time. It's a bad habit. Oh boy, yeah, no, I got a lot of stuff in my camera bag right now. 24 to 70mm lens. I have a battery grip. Speed lights. Godox speed lights. The 8200 Pro also fit in my bag.
Is that a honeycomb or no?
Yeah. So this is actually, it's got a barn door and a honeycomb on there. And
Oh,
then
that's fun.
and then it also has magnetic attachments so that you can put gels on top.
Oh,
Oh,
so dope.
is it similar to the Never mind, I forget the system.
Yeah, I know, but I don't remember which one you're talking about. So I actually used this. I put this this color attachment on there, and I was shooting sunset photos,
Nice.
so I like faked the sunset as much as I could, and they actually turned out really cool.
Nice.
But yeah, I usually leave that on there because that's just kind of the go-to thing that I use. I like having that honeycomb on there. I do have also ND filters, one for the 50mm, one for the 24 to 70, which actually, I wonder if it's still all messed up. So this is dirty on the inside of the. Oh no, it's not. Hey, look at that. Not anymore, I guess. So during the one of the camping trips that I went on, I was taking this off, and it fell in the river that I was standing by. And I caught it, thankfully, but it was right near a waterfall, so it was like all that foamy kind of crap at the bottom of the waterfall, and it just like plopped right in there. But I mean, the cool thing is everything seems clean and
Ooh.
working, so that's cool. Yeah. Thankfully, it's not dirty on the inside. After I pulled it out and I tried to dry it off, like I could see like foaming on the, or not foam, but like fogging on the inside. And so
Like it was a rabid dog.
yeah, I was just like, well, there goes my my ND filter. It's fine. It's fine. It's not like I paid a lot of money for it. It's whatever.
$1.50.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for my camera bag. For the most part, that's usually what I keep with me when I go shooting. Jarrett, what's in your bag?
Yeah, good question. I I don't have my whole bag, just the main bag with me here with my pins.
I'm Jarrett. I have multiple bags.
Well,
I have a wedding
well,
bag and then also like a boudoir bag
I
and
like to split it up as two. So I used to only have one bag, but then it's just so heavy, and I don't like to bring it everywhere.
I actually
But
just
yeah,
split it up to where I used to keep my video stuff in the same bag, but I upgraded my backpack, so I just moved all of my video stuff into like the smaller bag. And so if I'm going to shoot video, I just carry both bags.
yeah. So in this bag, real quick, gloves for winter shooting.
Smart.
Yeah, because my hands. Tea, because nobody has tea at the place I need to go when I'm doing
You
weddings and
actually have
shit.
tea bags?
Yeah, hair ties for people. They need hair ties.
Oh, that's smart.
A Ziploc bag of ibuprofen, and like a charger for your phone. But then yeah, and then we go in to the bag more. The lens cloths, the extra batteries. This currently have my 85 millimeter 1.8 in here, but it's weird because the Nikon Z6 can't take that lens, so it's just in there right now. Because I have I also have a Nikon D800 that will take that lens, and then we got the Nikon 50mm 1.4, and got these Yongnuo triggers and flash setup for off-camera lighting, and then to jump in with you guys, I got the SanDisk
Nice.
backups, but there's not all SanDisks in here.
Wait, do you have the
Um,
like the bigger cards? What are those called?
CF
yeah.
Express.
Oh, I've got so this takes I have CF and underneath is SD.
Whoa!
Ah. See, he's
Trapdoor.
fancy, yeah.
and
Surprise.
then and then this one takes the weird mm, shit. The new weird like XD XQD CF Express cards.
Oh yeah. You know, for a
Oh.
second, I felt really dumb because I was like, "Oh man, maybe I should get one of those big cards." And then I realized my camera doesn't take those big cards.
Yeah.
Nor do I think I really want to use those. Actually, now that I think,
No,
because that's like an
they're not
older
that bad.
style of card, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to get CF Express onto my iPad. I don't think there's like a really good. At least there's not like a first party Apple dongle for that adapter.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. And I totally edit everything. It's so important to me. Oh, well, no, that's a USB though.
Yeah, you could just do a USB conversion to Lightning. I don't know.
Mm,
Too many converters.
Dude, when I bought the camera and then I was like, oh, this takes XQD and not CF or SD, I'm like, cool.
mm.
But I could have used Express too, but XQD was cheaper and easier to get at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
But then the last lens I have currently in here is that 35mm 1.8, is it? Yeah, 1.8, because the 1.4 was too much money. 1.8.
And you
Unless
rarely
Nikon
ever
wants
shoot
to
at
send
1.4. I have the 1.4, or actually, is this 1.2?
Nikon
No,
send
this
me
is
a lens,
1.4.
please.
I think I have shot at 1.4 like twice, probably.
Yeah,
Um,
so it's less about I feel like shooting at 1.4 and having the ability to stop down.
yeah. I mean, it is nice, but I mean, majority, like, if I'm shooting on my 50mm, I'm shooting like portraits and stuff like that. So I'm not usually shooting portraits at 1.4, or else then you get like where the tip of their nose is out of focus, and then their eyes are in focus, and then their like ears are out of focus. And I
I love
mean,
it.
like,
It's the best part.
depending on what you're shooting, like, it's cool. But
Then we Yeah. No, I agree. But like sometimes I just shoot things that are closer up with the 1.4.
yeah.
Or if I'm purposely trying to ooh, that's fancy.
This
What
is
is
the
that?
35 1.4.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
shoot 1.4 just to look at the stars. it really it's so hard for video too. Like just the focus breathing at 1.4 is kind of insane. Um, but for photos, I'll need every now and then. But for
Yeah.
astrophotography, 1.4. If you can do 1.2, oh my god, it's so good.
1.0.
0.9s,
0.8.
the Amazon 0.9s.
Nice. To wrap this up, I just have a cleaning kit in my bag of all the. I don't want to dump it out, but
Oh,
just
that's
for
cool.
things to clean the camera with, like, because I often feel with mirrorless you have to clean them more. I don't know what's going on with that, but um, the D800 is actually in here. I forgot, and then I just have like some things for my phone to like record and some snacks and shit and toothbrush because when you're at a
Never
wedding.
know when you might need a toothbrush.
Correct. And I know other photographers who carry like a couple, like $20 in their bag just like if they needed like a taxi. But nowadays we don't really do taxis anymore. It's really like Uber. So
Uber.
I have a quick question.
what's up?
Since you brought up cash,
Oh gosh,
do
yeah.
you guys when you guys go, depending on like the type of wedding, but like let's say that it's like a venue supplied bar
Mm,
and it's an open bar,
Yeah.
yeah.
do you guys tip the bartenders
I don't
as a,
I don't drink.
oh, that's
Yeah,
good then.
Jared doesn't
And you
drink.
and even if I did at the open, yeah, go ahead.
I don't generally drink while I'm working because I think it just
Mhm,
like if I'm at the bar DJing, sure, yeah, like that's a whole different situation. But like if I'm
mhm,
DJing somebody's wedding, like the
mhm,
last thing I want to be is like kind of out of it and a little buzz.
mhm,
But also it's because normally I'm not like shooting. Normally like, I'm on the microphone and stuff like that. So
mhm,
um I would though, because like even though it's an open bar, like you should always still tip.
mhm.
Yeah.
My also totally exposed myself as I'm that drunk photographer or videographer.
I mean
um
that's more of like a background, or I don't want to saying background position sounds weird. It's more of like you can stick to the shadows a lot more.
mhm,
And so I think that's why like I would be more comfortable like having a drink, you know,
mhm,
while I'm shooting photography over, DJing.
mhm. I also have had this personal rule that when I'm off the clock, if I give extra time to the clients, then that's when I will hit the bar.
Yeah.
So if like, things are going great, fantastic. Like the one that I met you at, I met the wedding I met you, Jarrett, at. Um, I think I stayed an extra 4 hours because I knew the guy, right?
Oh my god.
Um, yeah, I was
No,
there. I was there until I was one of the last like 30 people out the door. And all of his family's still there, obviously. So yeah, I mean, like I wanted to stay because they had something like a last dance plan that they wanted. They were like, oh, we don't want you to stay for it because it's too late and we don't want to pay you for the hours in between. And I was just like, hey, like if it works out that like I'm just having fun, having a good time, getting a lot of footage, then I'll just stick around for that. But no promises, right? And I ended up sticking around. So then, yeah, I went to that open bar, once or twice.
that's okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like I like to get to know the bartenders because I usually will be like, hey, especially for B-roll shots, like you always want to get the bar involved because
Yeah.
it's one of those memory things, right? So I'll usually give a heads up to like the bartenders and be like, hey, if there's anything you guys want to show off for yourself, because usually I get like the name card if they have like that little stand to promote
Oh
themselves to
yeah.
the wedding guests. I'll always try to like do that, the pan over that, and like I'll be like, hey, like if you want me to do this while one of you is in the background doing like a trick, because like a lot of times these guys are so good.
Yeah.
Like, there's these sisters that I worked with that were like juggling bottles to each other and pouring in between juggles, and it was insane. And I was just like, oh, this is perfect for video.
Yeah.
But I was working as a secondary for that, and he didn't want to put it in the video, so I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's
That's
fine.
fine. It's
I felt like
my
if you
footage.
hire them, you probably yeah. I feel like if you
Yeah.
want to hire them, you probably care to remember them. Yeah, but no, so I'll usually hit them up with like a quick little tip, and then that'll be like kind of my hey, like here's my tip for the night, and then if I come
Yeah.
back, then usually that'll be it as like vendors.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. I feel like
That's considerate.
bartenders, especially at weddings, are very very underappreciated. Normally, what I like to do is I'll like beforehand, I'll go talk to them, especially if I'm DJing and like emceeing. Like we'll usually go talk to them and be like get to know them a little bit, and then get to know their names and stuff, and be like, yeah, are you guys doing like a last call? Like, what's going on with that? Like, because some bartenders will be like, yeah, last call. Like, I want people to know that like I'm done serving
Mhm.
alcohol at this time, and some people are like, please God, no, because generally, right once you do last call, like people flood the bar.
Mm.
But yeah, normally like I'll hop on the mic towards the beginning of the wedding and I'll be like, if you guys haven't had a chance to stop by and see so and so and so and so at the bar, like please do so. My usual line is because I'll tell you what, the more you drink, the better I sound. So
It's true.
You should put that on a shirt.
the more
That
you
should be
drink, the
one of your.
better I sound.
That's gotta be part of your merch line, man.
Honestly, it would probably work. I want to work on more of, because like I've had merch that's just like, oh, logo, but nobody wants to wear just like a logoed item.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And
true.
like I feel like having something like that that has like sayings on it and stuff like that, like that's cool. Sorry, we got a
Okay.
little off topic.
No.
What?
We're gonna jump into a quiz round.
Uh,
Are you guys ready?
no, nobody told me I was gonna get quizzed.
All right. Quiz question number 1.
Oh wait, hold on. Are we competing? Are we buzzing in, or are we
Yeah.
just we're
Oh
continuing
yeah.
as a
Let
team to get the?
raise your hand for a buzzin.
Okay.
Question number 1. Who came first? Was it Nikon or Canon?
Raise hand.
Okay.
Nikon.
Correct. 1 point for Max.
Bing.
Next question. What year was Nikon founded? A. 1910, B. 1917, C. 1923, or D. 1956? Daniel.
I wasn't expecting 4 answers. B.
B is correct.
Hey,
Nikon was
that was
founded in
pure guesswork.
1917. What did Nikon invent? A. The CD player. B. The speedlight. C. The SLR. Or D. The microscope.
Raise
Max?
hand.
Max?
The SLR.
Correct. It was C. The SLR. It's like, did you guys read this beforehand? Hold on.
No, we're just smart. We got the
What
smarticles.
what did Nikon make before they became synonymous with cameras? That's just pretty much that's just an open question. Just one of the answers. There's multiple things, but just give me one.
I don't do well with these kind of questions.
Max?
Ovens.
Ovens. No. I will
Dishwashers.
No, I'll give you a hint. It was in the previous list of options.
Microscope.
Jesus Christ. That's split point for Max and Daniel, I suppose. Yeah, that's one of the things. They also were synonymous for rangefinders as well.
Oh, cool.
So
Fancy.
rangefinder.
I
Didn't
still
look
have
that
no clue how
up.
rangefinders work.
Okay, so what was Sony known for before they were known as Sony?
Like, what was their name before Sony?
Correct. Wait. Yes.
Sony Entertainment.
It's okay. Do you want to be able to answer the question? It was just kind of like
Can I
just
throw a bad guess or like a bad
okay.
answer?
Yes. Yeah.
Panasonic.
Nice. I
No.
like that.
No, but some of these I just
Sony.
really came across the information. I was like, that's kind of interesting. So I just wanted to throw it
Yeah.
out there. But they were known as the Tokyo, I'm gonna say it wrong, Tsushin Kogoyo KK, the Tokyo Telecommunications Engineering Corporation.
I knew that actually.
You knew that,
I
dang
did
it.
know that. No, but like, I would never have remembered it, but I did know that.
Oh, okay, so it started as a small company with a capital of 190,000 yen, which with approximately 20 employees. And then I did the math, and I guess that's 150 US dollars in 1946. But currently today, that would have been the equivalent of $3,000. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And now it's a multi-billion dollar company.
All right, guys, can we pull $3,000 together? And what can we do?
What can we do with
Microscopes?
that?
Told you, bro. We're gonna start a
Ovens?
YouTube channel. We just gotta make a Patreon.
You guys
Let
might know
other
the
people
answer.
pay us for content.
You might know the answer to this one, guys, but maybe not. Who was the world's first photographer? No? Any guesses?
You act like I went to
Any guesses?
photography
Oh,
school.
hey, if you can guess his profession, I'll give you a point. His profession was obviously not photography, but what was his profession?
He was a doctor. I don't know.
You know those people who are like
Close.
surveyors? You know the ones who like look through the compasses to like map out things? Okay, never.
Daniel was close.
A scientist?
Yes, Daniel, 1 point. Anyways, so I don't know, I typed a lot, but centuries of advance in chemistry and optics, including the invention of the camera obscura, set the stage for the world's first photograph in 1826, where a French scientist, Joseph, I'm gonna say his name completely wrong, Nikifor Nipsey. I don't even know how to say his name. It's really long. But he took a photograph and they titled it "The View from the Window" in his family's country home.
I'm googling this.
I think I've seen
I
that
want
photo.
to see this picture.
The view from the window.
And pop it on the screen for
I
the
will.
viewers.
The view from the window.
And
Oh,
at
that's the name.
yeah.
Is
What?
this movie about the? Oh no, that's totally a different.
Here's the rest of the wordage. Oh, here we go. Max found it.
Oh no! Don't focus on all the scratches I have on my screen. I thought you were talking like philosophical, like who took the first photo, and I was gonna be like Archimedes took the first photo. You know, Debussy took the first photo. Mozart took the first photo. You know.
Okay.
Interesting.
Aside from what NASA is doing, what's the world's most expensive camera, and how much do you think it costs?
Is it like an electron microscope? Would that be considered a camera? Expensive
Well,
camera?
we're sticking to like cameras, like actual
Okay.
cameras that you can like take photos with.
And so
So
not including
not
NASA's,
like
like you
the-
can't include like the Johnson, the
No.
new
Yeah.
thing that they just okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
that short time that I worked at a camera store, I know there were cameras, literally just small cameras that were selling for like 10 grand. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go with 50.
Yeah, if you give me the price, I'm cool. I'm giving you a point for the price.
I'm gonna go a solid like 50 grand. It's
I'm
probably
going
more
$400,000.
Okay.
Because
So
I know like this, you know, the sports broadcast cameras, like those
Oh,
are so
yeah.
expensive.
okay.
That's a
So
video
with the
camera.
research that I did from the answer I have versus what I don't know if it's 100% right, but from what I found, they're okay. So Daniel, I'm gonna say you're right on this one, but before I get into that, the how do you say Leica?
Leica? I
Leica?
call it Leica.
Oh yeah,
Was it
yeah, that's
Leica?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leica, yeah. So
Yeah.
the Leica Zero series number 122 resold for $2.97 million. Okay, so that's an unfair one, but in 1923, Leica produced a limited series of 25 cameras, and 8 decades later, it was ultra rare, so it sold to a
Yeah.
collector for 2.97 million.
That's impressive. Leicas are
Um,
nice. Like when I
Yeah.
did work at that camera store for 3 days, I got to hold some of their Leica cameras, and they just like they feel so nice. Um, it turns out that Leica is a brand of camera, like you know those people that are like, hey, that box is open, like I can't buy it. Like I'm not gonna buy it because this box is open. Like Leica is
Oh,
that their box comes with like a sticker over the top, and people will not buy it if that seam is broken.
that's crazy.
Because nobody
Be-
really buying used Leicas,
Except for this guy for
well,
2.9.
except for that
So
guy. But um, and the cameras that they had at the store, 10 grand. And I watched people
that's
come. I watched like 3 or 4 guys come in there. It's just like an older gentleman that would come in and be like, "I'll take it," and they're just like, $10,000, please. And he's like, "Yup, here you go." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, I, I,
Meanwhile,
well, I mean, I've seen people purchase things for that much, but it's normally something like bigger than
no, I get it.
a camera. And so I'm just like, what the heck is going on? Like that's excessive. But inside of the box, like it opens up and like there's a little drawer system in the box. Like it's a super nice box on the inside, I guess. Like they treat their customers extremely well. Like if your camera breaks at
Nice.
all, like you just send it in, they fix it.
That's crazy.
Can't
Speaking
imagine
of
that with Sony.
speaking of Leica, the reason why Canon came to fruition was to combat Leica. That was their goal, to become better than them.
Yeah, screw like a just kidding.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
but so Daniel, when I said you were right earlier, I guess the Phase 1 XF IQ4 is a $50,000 camera. It's the world's first 151 megapixel camera. Um, it has superior performance that that the Phase 1 was known for, and it's built and innovated Infinity platform, which not only helps bring the best image, but provides a wide range
Are you
of
trying to
features and
sell us a
functions
$50,000
that
Leica?
result in
Like,
that result in
what
a
it sounds
smoother
like.
workflow. I'm just saying, if Phase 1 wants to send me a test camera, that'd be cool. Anyways,
Leica, you want to sponsor us?
okay. So jumping back into regular things, because I do have one more game, but I would rather jump back into the other stuff real quick. Describe your ideal wedding to capture. It doesn't have to be super descriptive, but I want to know a location, the equipment that you would use, and like the ideal client that you would work with.
I think it would have to be in a country with minimal drone laws. First of all,
Wait,
I'm thinking
what's the country with the huge Dubai? What about Dubai?
I don't know if they're really lenient or not lenient. Are you talking about
Oh,
the wait? Are you talking about the tower though?
yeah,
Yeah, that's the Burj Dubai.
yeah.
Used to be the Burj Khalifa. Um, yeah, just like a country where like there isn't as many drone laws. I know the U.S. is like really insane, like all of North America is,
Yeah.
and a lot of Europe. Um, some places in Asia are also pretty bad. My immediate thought was like to go to Antarctica, where on one of the days where like it's like the same exposure all day round. You know what I mean? Like that'd
Yeah.
be fantastic. But I'd also love to shoot like, um, like a more naturey outdoor setting. Ideal clients, I don't know, probably famous clients.
Yep.
I know we talked about the space wedding with Jeff
Yeah.
Bezos.
Oh my god.
That'd be pretty dope, just because I want to go to space.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Um, yeah, I just feel like something like really grand and small, like not a ton of guests. I
Yeah.
feel like that would be pretty nice too, just because as I want them to not want a ton. Like,
Yeah.
not that I don't want a ton of guests. Like, if they didn't want a ton of guests, that would make my life a lot
Yeah, it makes it more intimate.
easier. Yeah, yeah, and just like a couple that genuinely loves each other, like that'd be like a nice little cherry on top. I don't know, that's
Yeah.
actually a priority, but it's one of those things where it's just like you can kind of see like they were made for each other and they knew it immediately and you knew it when you met them. So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
ideal equipment, I'd love to just like still shoot what I normally shoot. I'd love to get an anamorphic lens though, to shoot for them, and then just turn it into like a whole ass movie music video type thing.
Oh, that would be so cool. I would have to
Nice.
say for mine, it's I've just been so obsessed with like adventure weddings. Um, but like an island somewhere, but not like a super touristy place, you know? But like my ideal thing is not just like the wedding itself. I want to go on an adventure with somebody and shoot like a date that they have, like just going through like a market in some foreign country or something like that. And just like casual like pre-wedding almost engagement photos, but just like couple photos and just like going around adventuring, like seeing cool things and actually getting to capture like the genuine like wonder on their faces when they see something cool. Um, and capturing like outside of just the wedding itself. And then of course the wedding itself would be just really, really cool. Small, like you were saying, Max, would be awesome. Um, and then man, I've always wanted to do it. The reason I say um like island wedding, so that first wedding that I shot, there was an initial plan to do. You guys have heard like wreck the dress, right?
Yeah.
So there was an initial plan that the day after the wedding, she was going to get her second dress, and then we were going to do wreck the dress, but like out in the ocean.
That's cool.
So like shoot photos of them like out in the water with like the waves crashing around them and stuff like that, and like I would do,
Ariel.
yeah, aerial would be cool. I would like to have like a waterproof casing on my camera, and then if it's
Nice.
clear water beaches, do like some underwater shots with like her in her dress and everything like that, and him.
Bro, remember that shipwreck we were talking about
Yeah.
shooting
Oh god, it
around?
would be so
Yeah,
cool.
that would be sick.
And honestly, as far as like a couple, like just a couple that's very, very laid back and is ready to do some adventuring and or is like very well traveled. Like the people who are like, yeah, like they're not nervous about traveling, you know? Because I've known people who are very like they're very reserved if they go traveling. Like if they're somewhere new, it's very like lock up, you know? Um somebody who's very like comfortably traveled and everything like that. Then yeah, as far as equipment, like either a waterproof case for my camera or and or like one of those waterproof cameras would be really, really cool. Um
Yup.
because being able to capture, like if you were to do a wreck the dress, and I've seen people do it at beaches, but I've never seen people do like underwater of that. And so like having like her in her dress and like him in like a suit or at least something nice, but like under the water with like hair flowing and everything like that, I think it would be magical.
Sounds like Avatar Way of the Water, wedding style.
Exactly. I haven't watched it.
Okay, yeah. So for me, I think that right now, currently, if you were to ask me today, it might change later, but I'm really feeling Iceland, guys. I want to go to that black beach.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah.
I want to see some like those weird like mountains that are formed in like a weird way where the arches are just columns.
Mhm.
Just like cool shit like that, and then equipment, honestly, the same stuff I have, but like higher end. So I'd love to get my hand on a D5. Um, I just can't afford to drop 5K on that camera right now.
Yeah.
And then just like like stuff like that. I think lenses wise, I think I already have what I need. But and yeah, like Max said, ideal client would just be people who are just like really into each other. Um, I think really that's the biggest thing
Yeah.
that makes the photos the best
I
when
think so too. Yeah.
they look at each other and they're like, yes.
Um, so I've been thinking about doing a documentary. Well,
Cool.
short style documentary, like 30-minute type thing.
Yeah.
We should go to Iceland.
Let's go.
Go to Iceland. I'll
I'm
film
Bro,
you
going.
guys taking
we should
photos.
just shoot an adventure wedding together. Like, let's just start shooting adventure weddings. Like, 2 photographers and a videographer. Like, we could sell that
One camera.
package and just be like, "Hey guys, just cover all of our travel. Like, we'll come out there, we'll shoot it for you." And like all of us together could capture some badass like adventure wedding stuff.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
a high-end production adventure wedding. Let's do it.
Oh my god, let's do it. Somebody please. It doesn't even have to be space, just somewhere. We can
We
start
could just
small.
We could
just
go
be in
somewhere
your backyard.
completely wild, like Ohio.
Crazy.
Yup.
No, we gotta shoot one in Bangor.
Honestly, Hocking Hills in Ohio is pretty dope. You ever
That's
been?
what I've heard. We need to go down there. Like,
It'd be a pretty good equivalent. Like we wouldn't have to do a lot of travel dollars, but if we were to film something Hocking Hills, Ohio, and did a styled shoot there with like a bride and a groom, we could make an adventure wedding happen there. I did an actual wedding there once. But I think we need to get like the right vision board for
let's
stylized
do it.
wise.
I'd be down to do that.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
like it'd be a good start, and then it's something that you could like from that, it's something that you could sell to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just have to find a couple.
I just looked it up because I've never heard. Looks cool.
It is
No,
pretty cool.
it's
It's essentially it's a
I've
bunch of mountain deposits, and then they have like giant mountain looking shit, but it's not actually a mountain and waterfalls and stuff. So
cool.
photography tools that aren't cameras and that could potentially speed up your workflow. List 2 to 3 of those.
Lightroom.
Correct.
Uh Narbox.
I guess this is true.
There's that AI culling tool, which I would feel so like weird about.
Okay,
like,
but what do you guys use more so? Not just don't label out
Like
random
what
things.
do we use?
Yeah,
Oh,
what do you
that's what you were
use?
asking. I thought you were just asking us to name like random ones.
no, in that case, I don't even use Lightroom.
What is like? I use Photoshop. I go picture by picture and export
I use
that
GIMP.
shit. I use
So
Windows Photo Editor.
so I'll start, guys. I'm just gonna take this one from Daniel since he doesn't want to say it. Honeybook. Honeybook's been really detrimental in helping me like get clients coming in and like conversing with them quickly and
They've
making
been
sure
detrimental.
it's like
Or,
I might use that word wrong, but it's been a really good experience.
oh
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
detrimental.
I
has
think
been a
detrimental is
bad
the
experience,
opposite.
Yeah.
The opposite. I'm sorry.
No,
That's
it's
why I
okay.
take photos.
we like Honeybook.
Yes, Honeybook
Yeah.
is
Okay, we like
great.
Honeybook. Okay.
Honeybook is
Yes,
great.
it's been very helpful in just like speeding on my freaking life, to be honest. Making it easier. And then another one would be this thing right here. Hold on, let me unplug it. This thing right here. Ugh, and you draw on it.
Oh,
You draw.
cool.
Yeah.
One of
that a
those.
Hui-
I
is
do
that a
not have
Huion?
desk space for it, but
It is called a Wacom tablet, and
Oh, okay. You have
I
a real fancy one.
yeah, and I use it to clean up like people's faces and clean up things out of the photos and stuff.
I thought you used a tablet. I think I watched one of your retouching videos, and I thought that your strokes were
Fast.
too like pencil like.
Yeah,
Like you could do a lot of motions that like you can't usually get on a mouse. You know.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to tutor. And I would tutor during like the Zoom education era of COVID. And I bought like a cheap knockoff tablet that it broke, so I can't use it anymore.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, those are nice. I wanted to get used to using that for photo retouching, but I mean for a guy who does video, it's not as
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And dude, I've had this thing for like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 10, more than 10 years. Freaking just going strong, you know? So it's worth the investment.
cool.
What about you guys?
Oh boy.
I have a very fancy PC.
Ooh. Did you
So
build it?
yeah, I built it.
Yeah.
I really spec'd out this PC because I knew I was gonna start coming along with a lot more video gigs, and I think I was starting to get like a lot of paid work, especially video editing work. And so I like really maxed out on RAM. I maxed out on at the time what I could have gotten for a GPU just so that I can like render everything in like full full resolution real time as I'm editing, which is
That's cool.
such a good feeling to have. And then like I rendered like I was playing Call of Duty Warzone 2 this past week. And me and Blake we got a dub, we got a win, and then so we both clipped the entire game, and so I threw that together on an editing software on Premiere, and then I had that render and exported in 10 minutes, which for like a
Dang.
That's
6 minute
fast.
video,
Yeah.
6 minute video with like it's like picture in picture because we both have our POVs.
Yeah.
um you know it's just a huge upgrade from like the 30-minute renders I used to have to deal with.
Yeah.
And it's just so nice because then I can do something and not worry about that being um like a speed bump on my way to delivering product.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Nice. That's helpful.
Well, I suppose I got this bad boy. This is pretty cool. So this is called Shuttle Pro. It's not in
What does that
focus right
do?
now. So this is basically a uh so you can program all the buttons. They do come with like auto program stuff, but like especially for video editing, like if you turn this wheel, you can go like frame by frame. And then if you want to
Ooh.
go like forward fit quickly, you can like and you can do this in photos too. Like I have all of mine programmed to auto select like different settings, and then I just turn the wheel instead of like dragging a mouse or anything like that. I just like turn the wheel, click to the next setting, turn the wheel. Um I have these outside programmed to like basically my control Z of like I can undo whatever I just did and or redo it. And then as far as like video editing, like there's an auto like export button or like place your in and out and stuff like that. Like it's real cool. It's very helpful. It normally comes with like little labels that you can put under these keys. And so you can see like what everything does. Um,
I like it.
yeah, I try to use it. It's kind of hard because my left hand is stupid. So normally it'd be like right hand on mouse and then left hand is using like the Shuttle Pro. But like I said, my left hand is a little dumb. I'm very much so a dominant right-handed person, so my left hand falls behind in every aspect, which sucks. But um, yeah, it's very
can I
nice.
make a
Like
quick
it.
joke?
Do what?
Sure.
Can I make a quick joke?
Yes,
Does that mean every other song that you're DJing is gonna be slightly less like? Because do you not switch like the left deck and the right deck?
I do. Yeah, but like I guess not really in that aspect. Now, if you were talking like scratching, so
Yeah,
when you scratch, you have to like use the crossfader on one hand and then like scratch with your
yeah,
left
yeah,
hand. So I can use a
yeah.
crossfader with my left hand because it's just kind of like quick motion or
Okay,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
But if I try to switch and I try to scratch with my left hand, like I said, my left hand is like real stupid. And so it's like
Uh huh.
I can't scratch anything with my left hand.
Uh huh.
So if you see me
I'm
scratching
gonna.
on my left deck, I'll be like reaching across with the crossfader on the other hand and I'll be doing that.
That's the tech. I didn't even imagine that you could just cross your hands.
Yeah.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun,
You're not
dun.
supposed to. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
That's fun.
that's really all I got is as far as I mean I
That's
got
fine.
Honeybook too, but you already took that one. So
If you had to
yeah.
start over, shit, this is kind of a long question, guys. If you had to start over, no, this is too long. I was gonna say list your action plan to start your new business and how you'd create your new portfolio. I'm gonna skip that. It's kind of long. I feel like that's like a time-consuming and lengthy thing you have to think about. But think about that one. Um, let's see.
I don't want to think about
I wanted
starting over.
I wanted to see you guys create one posing prompt. What's one posing prompt that you would or do to direct a client using only words to get them to get into a pose that you'd like them to pose into? Without using hand gestures, just word prompt.
Oh,
I use so much pop culture.
Okay.
So much pop culture. Look like The
Okay.
Godfather. Boom, with the groom and the groomsmen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gives them that
Pretend you're the
smug.
Kardashians. Like it's oh my
Pretending
god. Oh
pretending
my
it's
god.
Kardashian.
You as you get through the day, through the getting ready, because usually the getting ready is not posed for
Yeah.
me, like for video at least. It's just like doing actions. It's very
Just
easy. It's
yeah.
like, oh, like do your hair. It's like,
Yeah.
do your hair. But like when we do like the posed photos and videos, by then you kind of get a feel for who people are. So I did one where like the girl's very naturey. And then I think I kind of just did a lot of like, oh yeah, if you were a spirit animal, like what would the spirit animal be? Now act out that spirit animal. And then
That's
just
smart.
honestly, I don't get the video of them being animals. I get the video of them thinking,
I
because it's a
like that,
very
or like the
thoughtful
laughing
clip.
afterwards. No.
Yeah, yeah, and the laughing afterwards. The
Nice.
the dudes is very easy because I could just be like, "You guys are a football team, and he just got the game-winning touchdown. Go tackle him!" And then
Oh,
it's so much. I think it's different for video.
Yeah.
no,
But
no,
there's a
I
lot of
love the
like pop
prompt,
culture
yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of prompts are my like pop culture like things that like I feel like can draw from common shared experiences.
No, I agree.
That's really
But
smart.
it's always so weird when you do a pop culture reference and everyone looks at you like, "I've never seen that movie."
Can you do that one thing from Sword Art Online? Please,
Hey, oh, please, please do it.
the
I
one
mean,
with the
if you
tentacles.
have the right client, like they would probably love that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let me
Um,
let me get the Luke, I am your father, please.
hmm.
No.
My hand.
Ah.
That being said, though, I'm very horrible at like breaking things down. Uh, Especially when I do like some photo stuff. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm very inexperienced and not comfortable with doing like posing for photos, but like for video, I feel like I just have like flashcards like in the back of my head of just like things I can tell people to do now.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
That's cool.
Is there a go-to prompt you use, Daniel?
Not really. Prompting is one of the things that I gotta get better at.
More
Um,
acclimated with?
yeah, more acclimated with. Because for a lot of like photography and stuff, it was always like I kind of fell to the background, but um, it's very much so more like I need to get like find more relatable ways to get people to understand, what I'm getting across without having to like walk up and like be like no like this, or like moving people.
Yeah.
Because being able to express it verbally is just so much better than having to walk up and be like, let me can I move you, like let's move you around, like and like even directing people, like if they're doing something very close to what you want. um I have a bad thing where if it's close enough, I'm like, it's fine, like it's not what I want, but like close enough. And I'm like, you know what, I would much rather just snap the photo than spend the next 3 minutes trying to explain like my vision. So
Yeah.
um when it comes to like modeling and stuff, I've been trying to get a little bit better about, because that's like less stress, more just like you have more time. um but as far as wedding photos, I need to get on that level.
No, I understand. Um, I typically just do a couple basic prompts. But a lot of mine are directive. Like I do a lot of hand gestures. And
Yeah.
so like I'll say things like, "All right, like come together. I want you to grab her waist and I want you to put your arms around his neck and cross your wrists behind his neck." So that seems like pretty straightforward as far as like things that somebody would be able to.
Yeah. Max,
you know,
I kind of like your style though
I
of.
like I like Max. I like
Yeah,
Max's stuff.
like, well,
Yeah.
I love that it's like instead of like directly directing them, like it's like, yeah, like think of this in your head and like imitate that, or like roll
Yeah.
with that. And I think that also makes it more fun for people too, because it feels less like we are opposing them and that they are opposing themselves.
I definitely think that there's a bit of a handicap doing the video because you can make a lot of moments look good because when they come candid, they almost always look good, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
But and if I'm ever to shoot like a short film or something, I would be very, very. I would be like, I wouldn't be able to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would eventually probably because I've been thinking about this like one idea that I would actually love to do a short film for, which I don't even want to say out loud because like I think it's a great idea and I didn't come up with it myself anyways, so it's like not my idea to share to people. But like if I were to be someone who were involved myself in a project like that, I would probably be like, you have to be more this, you have to walk more like this,
Yeah.
and
Well, I
you
mean,
probably have to
at
be a little bit more
this point, it
strict.
goes from less of like it goes into more of like a directing style
Mhm,
because it turns into no, oh, you're here to help create my vision instead of I'm here to help
mm,
capture your moment.
mm. Thank you. That's very well put.
Because yeah, because like I don't want to go to somebody's wedding and be like, I mean, unless that's literally what they hired me for is like, hey, I love what you do, I love your style, I love everything about that. Like, then yeah, absolutely. Like, if that's what they're looking for, then. Uh,
Mhm,
but for the most part, like, I'm not like, hey, let me spend a ton of time directing you, and honestly, like now I can just tell that you're not enjoying your wedding day. Um,
mhm,
but yeah, at that point, they are there to create your vision.
mhm. Yeah, and like you said, like kind of with like models, you have all the time in the world. You
Yeah,
can it's more relaxed too. Like you have the opportunity and I think the expectation that you're gonna reshoot a lot of things. Um, Something I noticed too, Jarrett, standing behind you while you were like posing models, is I don't know if this is something you purposefully do, but I've definitely thought that it's something that either you subconsciously do or something I should at least start doing. Is you like pose your model one step at a time, and like the photos in between from like point A when you like first get them set up in like one pose to point B of like the best pose you can get them into. I feel like you kind of like be like, oh, like do this with your arm, and then you'll take a photo. Oh, do this with your other arm, then you'll take a photo, and then you'll do, oh, do this with your chin, and then you'll take another photo. But then I feel like all of those steps, you
we're leading to
kind of
like the
zoom through,
final.
and
Yeah,
then you lead to like the final pose, and then you're like, ah, this is your final form, and then you really like focus on that one pose, and you hit it, and you're like boom, 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 boom. I'm like, damn, like I don't know if you noticed if he does this on purpose, or maybe I just like revealed one of his trade secrets. But I thought that was like really cool, and like I definitely want to start trying to add that into how I pose people.
I do like to break it down a little bit for people because it is kind of like hard to understand, but yeah, I think building on it changes the pose too, so
yeah.
sometimes it could be like a change in pose.
Mhm,
Um,
Well, I
but
like
yeah,
it.
no.
I like it too because it's less like let me spend all of this time, like the next like 3 to 5 minutes, like trying to get the perfect pose, and then like it
mhm,
doesn't feel like oh they're doing it wrong, you know. It's like you said, it's like steps towards that, instead of being like, well, like put your hand here, okay, move your hips around, blah 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 blah. It's like, oh, move your hand, snapping photos, like I think it makes it feel more comfortable for the model too, because
mhm.
then it's not like they're doing something wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's such a like a reassuring thing to actually like click the photo. I feel like I almost do a bunch of like kind of throwaway photos sometimes when I'm like I did a senior photo for a friend, and I feel like sometimes like he kind of was like he's a teenage dude, so he's like kind of like whatever.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't want to be here. Um, I feel like it's one of the more demoralizing things to like pose someone and then to not take a photo, put your camera kind of down, and then walk up to them and just be like, "Oh, can you do it more like this?" And I feel like that's
yeah,
just
yeah.
I don't know if I've ever done that, but I feel like that's something that I probably would want to avoid doing.
Yeah, that could make them stand a
At least
little.
especially for like I mean models I'm sure are like probably fine with it, but like teenage kids that don't want to be there, oh yeah, I don't think I could have pulled that off against him.
They already. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
want to be here already. Now I really don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Um, kind of come to a close, wrap it up. I do have one more question, but I think I'm gonna skip it and jump into our last segment. Um, all right. Have you ever played 5 second rule?
Yes.
Okay. Daniel, no,
For food on the floor, yeah.
no. Okay, well, this is a 5-second rule photographer edition.
What
So
explain
essentially,
5-second rule?
ex- like you have 5 seconds to so basically the questions will always ask you like name 3 kinds of presents you could get on Christmas,
oh, and then
and
you
it's
have
always 3.
5 seconds to boom, boom, boom. Okay.
And it's always 3. I'm not gonna say name 3 every time. I'm just gonna
Okay.
Yeah.
label it off, and you're just
Just
gonna have
always
5
3.
seconds to
Got
do
it.
the 3.
Cool.
Yep. So I'm gonna do a countdown. All right. And it's gonna start off with let's do rock paper scissors to see who starts.
I did
All
scissors.
right, Daniel.
Ah,
Daniel starts. Okay, so Daniel, name 3 cameras.
Nike. Wait. Can't
That's the game. It's so hard. It's so
like
hard to do
camera
sometimes.
brands, specific cameras, like.
Yeah, so the questions are always like that. It's not like a super detailed question. It's literally just like name 3 Michaels. You're like 3 Michael what? Famous Michaels? Michael
Okay.
fake
All right.
Michaels? Like yeah.
I,
All
I
right.
I was I was unsure. Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. That's how the game goes. All right. 3, 2, 1. Max, name 3 cameras.
A7-1, A7-2, A7-3.
What the
Hey,
fuck?
there you go. Man,
1 point
You
for
know
Max.
that scene from Brooklyn Nine-Nine where it's like, oh yeah, name like three things worse than like underneath, and then she's like, oh, it's my fault because it was too easy of a question. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
Pop
that
culture
show's
things people
hilarious.
don't understand.
That
no, I
show's
love
hilarious.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's a good show.
Okay, so now Max starts. Max, name 3 lenses.
Oh, 24 to 70, 70 to 200, and 14 to 24.
It was longer than 5 seconds, but
I didn't know you were starting to count down because you just said that, and I thought you were like you had an intonation that you were gonna keep going, and you
I
started
wish I
counting
had the
down.
timer. I wish I had the timer.
Yeah.
Can you say go? Can you
Oh,
just do
yeah,
go?
yeah, yeah.
That would
I'll
help.
say
That would help a lot.
I'll say go, and
Yeah.
Daniel, just so you know, it's even harder with the actual timer because it goes. That's the noise that it makes. So
Oh,
you're
yeah,
like
yeah. Yeah.
trying to like zone out the timer as you're trying to think 5 things or
Yeah.
3 things. Anyways, should we
Also,
go-
I don't know why I went with the hardest 3 lenses to like
Right?
list out. I could have gone with like a different, primes. I could have just gone with primes. It would have been easier. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, Daniel, name 3 ways to light a photo. Go.
I don't know.
This game is so
I'm not
hard.
good on the fly.
Dude, that's why. It's just like a really hard game. I don't know.
like it.
Max,
I like
3
it.
ways to light a photo. Go.
Strobes, LEDs, natural lighting.
All right, there we go.
That's not fair because I knew.
I
the
know.
topic
I'm
already.
gonna give you a new topic.
Oh, okay. I'm just keep picking it up because he. Okay,
Yeah.
I
All
understand.
right. So, all right, here, Max. 3 Michigan wedding venues. Go.
Oh my God! Downtown Detroit, downtown Ann Arbor.
0. Stop. I don't think downtown Detroit is a wedding venue.
There are
It's like a
venues down
general.
there. You could get married in downtown Detroit. Yeah.
I
I've shot
guess.
3 weddings total in
All right.
Michigan.
It's okay. It's okay. All right, Daniel, do you think you could do this one? 3 wedding venues. Go.
Not any better than Max. No, I don't. I don't remember the names of venues, honestly.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't remember the names.
Okay.
And all the
Like when
ones
I
that
say
I can
downtown
remember
Detroit, I'm
are
thinking of that place that you and I shot.
All right, Daniel.
what?
Here's an easy one. Name 3 photographers to follow.
Daniel, Max, and Jarrett.
Okay. Max.
just so you guys know, I would have said like dumb things like, oh, I would have been like, oh yeah, Peter McKinnon,
Taylor
like
I knew it.
all of these like really long named people, and I could have just done the easy thing of just.
I really only have 3 more, but Daniel, the next one is 3 wedding DJs. Go.
Danny Phantom, DJ Aesthetic, and DDDC.
Shout out to DJ DC.
Ouch. Bow chicka wow wow.
All right, and here's my last one, and it's not really photography related. It just starts with a P. Name 3 Pokemon.
Oh, Charizard, Charmander, and Squirtle. Sorry for stealing that from you. I know you didn't say who it was for.
No, it's generalized. It's funny. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna bring
Shoot,
5-second
shoot,
rule over
and-
next time we play board games with
I like-
with Daniel.
Man, I love that like the quick wit thing. Like you have to just go on your first instinct. I
Yeah.
played you know bullet chess, like where you only have 60 seconds to play a game of chess.
That's fun.
And you know how like the timer goes, right?
That's
Yeah.
fun.
So me and my friend were playing. We both ran out of time, and then we were both pre-moving. We were both at the point where like we both had 1 king and 2 pawns, and our pawns were like facing off against each other, so they
Yeah.
couldn't move. So all our kings were doing were just like we were racing so that
Circling
we
around
didn't
the
lose
board.
clock time, right? Because we're just trying to like drag and drop our kings around the board. And then my head was like, he has more time on the clock, so if he does the same speed as me, he's probably gonna beat me. So I have to make a move, right? So then I started going after his pawns from behind, and he didn't notice that. And then when I unlocked one of my pawns, I like promoted it to a queen, and then I attacked him with the queen.
Nice.
And then this is all happening in the span of like 10 seconds, and we were streaming
Jesus
this on
Christ.
Discord,
Yeah.
and it was one of the
That's-
funniest.
We
It
gotta
was
play
like the
that.
hardest I've laughed in a long time.
Yeah.
Of like everyone like freaking out that like it was a battle of like who's gonna lose time first, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden I actually promoted both my pawns, so I got 2 queens because that's the only way I know how to end a game is to like just force a king to a corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about categories? Have you played categories?
I like categories.
Have you played categories,
At
Daniel?
some point, probably yes. More than
Yeah,
likely.
that's kind of a quick wit game as well.
Yeah, I don't remember specific. I'm sure if like I played the game again, like I would remember it, but
Yeah,
like it's not coming off the top of my head.
nice. We'll have to play that one. That one's fun. Don't know.
We're
If we
just
can
gonna have
get,
a board game podcast.
God, on the podcast, I feel like we're gonna be like Monopoly, flip the board.
We should make like traditional board games photography related. So like we should do code names, but then we should do because you guys know how code names works, right? Where like you have like a grid of like 25 different words that are like related, like just random words, and
Oh
then
yeah.
you have a map of which tiles are like your tiles and which tiles are your opponent's tiles, and then you have people who can see the map and people who can't see the map. So that you have to try to get your teammates who can't see the map to guess the tiles that are your tiles. So like some of the tiles might be like shark and tornado, and then your hint to them might be like like sharknado, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, obviously it's these 2 things. You there's a lot of like intricacies of like how you can give out your hints and stuff, but like you have to be 1-word hint. But it'd be cool if we did like a photography version, because then we could probably like put different models of cameras
Yeah.
and lenses, and then
Oh,
like we
that's
could be
fun.
like if your map were to be like, oh yeah, these 2 lenses happen to both be telephoto lenses, then you could maybe say something like that.
Yeah.
Don't know how we'll balance out, but I mean, we can do something like that.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
sounds good. I don't think I
Yeah.
comprehend it, but
Yeah,
I like it.
It's all right.
maybe when it comes back to me for hosting.
Yeah.
I was gonna say next one is me, and I know what we're gonna do. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be harder than 5-second rule.
Where's it
No,
gonna be?
it's actually not gonna be harder. Honestly, I think we're gonna. I think we talked about it last time too. I don't remember if we talked about it on the podcast, but I'll tell you guys after we wrap up. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do
Gotta
it.
be
Let's do
surprised.
it pool. Let's do it poolside in the winter. It's a joke.
Indoor pool, yes. Indoor pool side.
Jacuzzi episode in the actual jacuzzi. Pruny hands by the end of the episode.
Exactly.
Cool. Yeah, I think that that wraps it up for today. And Max, you want to roll us out? Daniel, you want to
Hit
roll
us.
us out?
Hit us up on Instagram at Daniel Ray Photography, at Becoming Fire II, and Alice Hart Photography, and Max U Photography.
Exactly.
And don't forget to watch the other episodes where we talk about wedding corners that you should not cut, and we talk about space weddings. So go back and watch those if you haven't already.
Like and subscribe. Hit that, smash the subscribe button. Like.
Yeah.